Let us have a look at the main events in this novel, The Guide. The novel opens with Raju, recently released from prison, sitting on a granite slab near an abandoned shrine on the bank of river Sarayu. On the other side is the village Mangal, where the villagers are illiterate and superstitious. A villager named Velan mistakes Raju for a saint and requests him to solve a problem about his sister's marriage. Interestingly, the problem is solved by Raju's eloquence, wit, and magical personality. So Velan becomes his sincere disciple and makes the gullible villagers also believe that he is a holy man. As time passes, all the villagers start revering him as a saint and offer him gifts and food. The narrative shifts backward in time as Raju becomes nostalgic. He thinks of his past life, his childhood experiences, his school life, education. He remembers his father, owner of a very small shop in his village, Malgudi. And when a railway station was set up there, he managed a newly constructed shop at the station. Later on, he got the privilege of running this shop. Here, his interaction with various kind of people coming from diverse backgrounds started. The story then moves to the present, and the author tells that a large congregation, a crowd from the village Mangal comes for darshan of Swami Raju. He advises the villagers to send their children to the classes to be held in the temple hall. He talks to the villagers about godliness, cleanliness, and great Indian epics and prescribes medicines for them. Not only the children but the elders also are spellbound by his aphoristic talks. These talks are filled with knowledge. Initially, Raju enjoys sainthood, but with the passage of time, he is fed up of this artificial life and he yearns, he desires to be his normal self. Again, the reader gets a glimpse of Raju's past life, how he became a very successful and seasoned tourist guide. He procured all the things required by the tourists, satisfied their curiosity with his persuasive, exaggerated talks, and made their trip meaningful. He discovered that the tourists possess varied interest. Their financial status also differed, so he arranged their sightseeing trip accordingly. As a guide, he met Rosie and her husband, whom he named Marco, as he looked like an eternal tourist. When Raju had the first glimpse of the charming Rosie, he had a strong feeling of attraction towards her. Marco, a cold, distant cultural historian and researcher, was so much busy with his academic pursuits that he had no time to spare for his wife Rosie. Raju came to know about this estrangement, this difference between this coldness between the husband and the wife, and gave to Rosie what her husband had denied. And what did her husband deny? Time, attention, admiration. When Rosie wanted to see the dance of King Cobra, Raju eagerly offered to take her to the area of snake charmers. As Cobra danced to the music of flute, Rosie's body too began to sway in rhythm, and Raju realized that she was a great dancer. They shared their personal feelings with each other. Rosie revealed that she was an innate, passionate dancer as she belonged to a family of Devdasis and married Marco only for social status and financial security. Raju and Rosie developed an intimate relationship and were romantically involved with each other. The narrative again moves to the present, the village Mangal, where Raju is considered a real Swami. However, he cannot enjoy the prerogatives of Swami for a very long time. A drought occurs in the village. As a result, there is a famine and scarcity, shortage of foodstuff, and villagers do not offer food to Swami Raju. Now, due to the increase in the price hike, the rise in the prices, there follows a fierce quarrel between a customer and a shopkeeper. Soon there are two factions of the society at loggerheads with each other, and Velen gets hurt. So Velen's half-demented brother goes to Swamiji and narrates this incident. Raju in turn conveys a message through him that he will not have food until both the sides are on good terms with each other. We observe events in the novel take a dramatic turn when the folly of a Maroon ultimately leads to the martyrdom of Raju. Velen's brother inadvertently misconveys the message to the credible villagers and says that Swami Raju will not have food until it rains. Instead of saying what Raju conveyed, instead of saying until they stop quarreling, he said until it rains. The news that the pure-hearted, altruistic ascetic is observing fast for the cause of villagers spreads to the remotest corner of the village. However, Raju is unaware of the fact that he is expected to act as a savior of the innocent villagers. For Raju, now the times have altered. Times have changed. He is in a state of distress. His mind is tormented by strange ideas. He feels entrapped in a maze from which there is no escape. Raju is determined to confess to Velen that he is not a saint but an ordinary human being like anyone else, and asks him to listen to the story of his past life. However, Velen does not react as the story proceeds. The narrative again shifts to the past. Raju recalls the time when he was too much obsessed with the thoughts of Rosie. He reveled in the memory of the happy moments he spent with her and anticipated what he would do with her in future. He became overconscious of his dress and appearance and tried every strategy to impress her. He made Rosie believe that, in sharp contrast to Marco, he was very passionate about her innate talent and wanted her to become a very famous dancer. Rosie decided to take her husband's consent for dancing, but his reply was negative, as he very firmly believed that good wives do not stoop to dance. He considered dancing to be below the dignity of his high-class family, so he told her that she did not possess sufficient training in dance. Rosie unconsciously retorted by saying that when she performed before Raju in a hotel, he eulogized her talent. At this, Marco became suspicious and thought that his wife had cheated on his trust. Rose's cross-examination began, and she finally confessed of her relationship with the tourist guide, Raju. Marco could not tolerate this infidelity on the part of his wife, so decided to depart without his wife. Rosie went to stay at Raju's place, where she preserved during her dancing sessions. Raju continuously motivated and encouraged her. Initially, Raju's mother was warm and caring towards Rosie, but she could not tolerate her dance for a long time, got irritated, called her a serpent girl and demon, and cautioned her son to maintain distance from her. However, Raju did not pay any attention to this advice and transformed from a tourist guide to a skillful lover. He frittered most of his time with Rosie, did not care for his business and his career as a guide, lost his shop, faced a big financial crunch, was in heavy debt, and involved in litigation. Raju's mother and uncle thought